to Chungsfjord, right? Today is going to be a short video about assists. Okay, that's what it's about today. Because a lot of people have asked, I have made a video in the past, but I was just a beginner then and I was sharing what I knew. There was nothing wrong with what I did. I've just made it better. That's all. And better is always better. Yes. So today it's going to be a short video just about this. The next video I'm going to do is about how to size the hooks for the jigs. It doesn't matter whether it's 20 to 100 grams, 300 grams, 400 grams, doesn't matter. That's the next video that'll be coming up. It's just to make it easier for people to watch. Otherwise the videos are going to be too long, people lose focus. Blah. So that's what we got going today. And today I'll run you through the tools, what you need to build assists. There are a few tools that you will need, but you can get away without them depending on how many pairs of assists you're going to make. Typically I'll make like about 50 or so for a season. And in past years, believe it or not, I got away with using one of these. A little bit more time consuming, but I didn't have the proper thing for it. If this is what you've got in any size, it's better than nothing. What this is the third hand in a way. And apart from that third hand, what you need is a fourth hand. This is a fly tying bobbin. And I didn't buy this, I made it myself, right? And I will link the video for that in the description, okay? You will need to use hardened stainless steel if you want one as dainty as this. Other than that, there are a few tools that will make things a little bit easier. Rig pulling hooks, right? They're not necessary, but they make life a little bit easier. This isn't a tool, but it's super glue. This also makes life easier. Also, a pair of scissors. These braid scissors are particularly good, okay? And a razor sharp knife or a razor blade scalpel, something. This one's very sharp. In past years, I used just a vise. Now I use a jig tying vise, and there it is. Swivels in every possible way. Very nice, very portable. Guess where I got it? That's right. There's no links. Get it yourself. Is that all the tools? Yes, it is. You will also need some hooks. These are slow jig hooks. These are the best for short jigging, whether you're using fast jigs or slow jigs. This is the hook that you want. They are light, they don't interfere with the action of the jig, and they hang up less. That's as simple as I can make it. Fast jig hooks, yes, you can use them, and they will hang up more. Full stop. Then you will need some assist cord. This one is 0.8, and I recommend this for most jigs, right? From say 40 to 100 grams, let's just say. Another piece is assist hook jigging rings, right? They have an ID or interior of 6.5 millimeters, okay? Whipping, I don't know what this stuff is called, but a fly tyer out there will doubtless know what it is. It is very thin, very fine, and it goes out into fibers as well, so it can flatten out and cover a greater area if that's something that you need to do. I like it because it's UV, it's very thin, and it does the job for me. You can get away with just using old braid, but I think it sucks. The whipping is bulky. If you go too far with it, it's going to interfere with the action on the jig, because if the hooks cause too much drag, they act like flights on an arrow, and it will interfere with the drop of the jig when you're no longer applying action to it. And if you want to know how thick this is, it is 170 den. So I'm going to get on with this because it is super simple. Everybody has an opinion, and a lot of guys that fish from boats, they write in and they say, just stick some shrink tube on the end of it. It's quick, it's easy, right? That's okay if you're fishing with a really big jig, like 200, 300, 400 grams, whatever. Yes, it won't affect that very much, but if you're fishing with a 60 or 40 gram jig from the shore, or 100, it will affect it. It will do what I was talking about before. It will act as a stabilizer for the jig, and it will ruin the action of it on the drop. So I go with this. So I'm going to get going with this. I think I've covered absolutely everything. There won't be any flash. I don't use flash very much because it cuts down on distance, and I need every millimeter I can get, especially since I'm making videos. Getting those fish is what matters, and distance is more important than a little bit of flashiness. And when I'm dealing with wind and other factors, I need to cut down the variables. And also, the hooks I use are flashy anyway, so it doesn't really matter, and the whipping is UV, so I'm almost there anyway. I don't believe it affects what I'm doing. Most of the time, unless I'm using small jigs, I don't use flash. So first of all, you take a piece of cord about 15 centimeters long. This will give you room to work. So I'm going to take this 5/0, right? Slow jig hook. Okay, they're very similar to circle hooks. So just like a circle hook, you just come through the front, out to the back, right? People overcomplicate this stuff. You need a nail knot, you need a figure of eight. No, you don't. What you need is an overhand knot. It's very simple. And anybody can tie it. Granny knot, whatever you want to call it, right? You just pull down on it, that's it. That's how far we've got now, right? Simple. Our job now is to stop that knot from coming undone and the cord passing through the eye of the hook. You just put it in your vise. It is hard to do without one of these, okay? So some other people would build this like a fly. I don't like it. It uses too much whipping. I like to do it like this. This is just as simple as snelling a hook on. So you just take it, you make a little loop in it like that. You place it on top of your hook, just like this. And then you just whip it on. Get a couple of turns just to get it started. That's all you need, right? Now there's a little loop right here. You just pull this. Just to get rid of that loop there. Okay? And you're done. Now what this bobbin does is act as a third hand for me. So it keeps tension on the line when I take my hand away to use scissors and other such things. Or just wet it a little bit and pass it through that loop. That's it. Okay, now I'm just going to hold this here. This tag here at the end, you just pull that slowly. I'm sorry I put my fingers over it, but you know what's happening. And that's it there, right? It's done. Right, you take your knife, you place it on the whipping gently, and you move the cord instead of sawing the knife, because you don't want to damage what you just created. And the same this side. There you go, that's it. Now you just got this little tag here. That's it. It is a little bit fluffy. Just give it a quick touch of a lighter, I'll take care of it. Quick. That's it. Turn it over. Now I just put a little drop of glue on it. That's it. And on the knot as well. Then I flip it over, do the bottom side too. That's it. Now I just leave that to dry. Normally I do this afterwards, but I'm just doing this so you can see it, okay? That's this portion done. Now you have to go with another hook. Somebody's gonna ask, why don't you just use one hook? Because two hooks is better, okay? Simple. And when I show you how to size them, I will talk about why I do this. Just keep an eye out for the other video. All will become clear later. Now it's time to tie this on. Right, here's the jig, right? When you're fishing from the shore, right, you don't want the hooks too far down the jig, mainly because it will hang up more. In the next video, I will talk more in depth about this, but there is more to it. But for now, you just want them a little bit, about a third of the way down the jig, roughly, or even halfway. If you've screwed up, you'll still get away with it, depending on where you're fishing. If you're fishing over a sandy bottom, don't worry about it. And also, you'll have other size jigs as well, so if you screw up the length of them, don't cut them to bits. You'll have a jig that's longer or smaller at one point in the future, or possibly at that time. Just like before, from the front to the back. Most of my jigs are approximately the same length, whether it's 100 grams or 60 grams, right? Not a 40 gram, but between 100 and 60, they're roughly about the same. You want the hooks to face each other, right? And I butt them up against each other like this. It gives me more room to tie a knot. Just the same knot again. And more room to make adjustments afterwards. So there we go. And what I do is I get them to the length I want, like this. Okay, and then I tighten this side. That's it, basically. And that's just about right for what I need. You need enough cord to get an assist hook ring on the end of it. Okay, so back into the vise, and then we just do exactly the same thing again. If this hook is giving you a bother, just stick it in the top like that. Okay, and now you just whip it on. And it is nice if the whipping is roughly the same size as his brother on this side, right? I'm just going to slide this up after I tighten this, okay? Got rid of that loop before, like we had before. That's it. Now I just take it and I just slide it up. That's it. Now this loop is a bit of a pain, so I'm just going to shorten it a little bit. You can see this is doing the third hand thing for me, right? This is the reason I didn't tighten it before. Now I'm just holding it with my finger. I can't do it from this side. Here we go. And just like before, a little bit of fluff. There we go. Just a drop of glue on the knot and the whipping. There we go. Just let it dry. Normally when I'm doing this, I tie up a whole bunch of them and then I'll glue them and then I'll come back and I'll set the rings on them. Okay, makes things a little bit quicker. There we go. Glue is dried. Okay. Now the next step is to put on the ring. And if I can just illustrate how to do this, and I'm just going to use this rubber band for a demo. So just pretend that's a solid loop, right? Just go through it like that. Okay. And just like that. That's exactly what is happening. But the other piece is a steel ring. That's it. Okay. It looks different because the steel ring doesn't change its shape. And this is where these two guys come in. You can use hooks. You can use whatever you want. Holding them like this, just to make sure they're the same length when the loop goes through. You take it, you drop your ring onto the top of it. Okay? Yes. Open the loop and you take your knot pulling tool or whatever you got going. In it goes, right? Now you can let go. And you just maneuver the cord over the ring, right? You pull down. That's it. And if you want to be doubly sure, you can just give it another pull with this other one like that. So that is it there. That's how simple it is. I'm making a video here. In reality, I can make a pair of these in under a minute. Okay, that's it. Very simple, very quick. So that's it for this video. I hope it saves you some money. I hope it catches you some fish. Wherever you are in the world, remember, I'll see you on the beach. Bye.